This video is going to be very scuffed because I wasn't going to make this video and I decided that I was going to because I'm very excited. So, um, this Thursday, uh, a couple days ago, December 19th, I went to the fan event to watch Sonic 3. And, I wasn't originally going to make this video, but I love this movie way too much. I have to talk about it. And I got this keychain that I'm showing right now. I got a free poster. It's cool and stuff. But also, I can't promise that I'm not gonna spoil this movie. I'm probably gonna spoil this movie, most likely. So, yeah, just get ready for that. Anyways, I like to start off by saying, if you did not think that Sonic 1 and 2 were Sonic movies, which I personally love Sonic 1 and 2 and the Knuckles show. I mean, the Knuckles show I give it like a 6 out of 10 just because Knuckles was barely in it, but I still really enjoyed the or the show. But if you thought that those movies were not Sonic movies, Sonic 3 is a Sonic movie. And low key, honestly, people have been saying it's a Dragon Ball movie. Yeah, yeah, this movie is also a Dragon Ball movie. So, let's just start off by saying Sonic in this movie, like the way that all the characters are treated very well. There's not some like side plot that doesn't really have anything to do with the main story. Everything that you see in this movie is important. Like all of the main characters are the main characters. Like that's all you're seeing. And I love that so much. And I feel like a lot of one thing I will say about the movies is it focused a lot on the human characters. This movie does not do that. This movie, I feel like most of the screen time, I will say a lot of the screen time was like Ivo Robotnik and Gerald Robotnik, but I feel like that's fine because they were in the games and stuff like that, and it adds more to the story. Which I will say, them keeping Gerald alive instead of killing him like in the games and having him dead, it doesn't really make too much sense because that means that Gerald would be a fossil, but but I like it, so it's okay. But anyways, the way that they handle all of that is really cool. I like Dr. Stone in this movie. Dr. Stone I think is one of the best things about these movies. Like the new additions to these movies, I think he's one of the best things. And I would also like to say the way they did Shadow in this movie was perfect. Okay? This might be a spoiler if you haven't seen like the trailers and stuff and like the clips that they showed before the movie, but there is a scene where the first scene where Sonic and Shadow talk to each other. Shadow says something along the lines of like, "You jumped out of a gun helicopter. There's nothing to talk about." And that line, just that line alone, I was like so happy. Like that is perfect for Shadow's character. Like that is literally like that was just amazing. Honestly, I'm done. I'm gonna spoil this movie now, okay? Um, I'll give you some time to click off this video. Alright, that was your time. I teared up to this movie 4 times and cried 3 times. Every scene with Maria made me tear up because I knew what was going to happen because I played the games. And I feel like the way that Maria's story was handled in this movie is probably the best interpretation of Maria's story because they show so much that you don't see in the games, like scenes of her and Shadow like being together and stuff like that and hanging out. Like it's just it adds so much more. It makes everything so much more like sad and heartbreaking. And I will say the scene where Shadow and Sonic are sitting on the moon and talking to each other, and Shadow looks up in the sky or the stars and hears Maria's voice, that made me cry. And then 3 seconds later, Live and Learn starts to play, and I start bawling my eyes out. not bawling my eyes out, but you get what I mean. Like I'm crying, like I'm getting hyped, I'm crying, and then literally the next scene, Robotnik's getting spanked by his grandpa, which I thought was a little funny, but it was very cool. And also, one thing I did notice while watching the movie, they play Live and Learn throughout the entire movie. Maybe not the entire movie, but like there are scenes where you can hear Live and Learn playing. Like Maria playing it on the guitar, I noticed that immediately, and it was like, oh my god, like that was crazy. Um, that means canonically Maria is a Crush 40 fan, which is awesome. But um, yeah, it's just, and the fight scene between Sonic and Shadow was just perfect. Like the way, like Ben Schwartz, I feel like people aren't talking about him enough. His portrayal as Sonic in this movie is probably the best that he's done. Like he locks in this movie, and it's great. Like it's amazing. And I feel like not a lot of people are talking about it. And like this movie, like I said, it is a Dragon Ball movie. Like they are throwing hands. Like it is crazy, man. Like it is good. And yeah. Uh what else is there to say? The post credit scene made me scream. Amy showing up and Metal Sonic, of course. But as soon as I seen Amy's hammer, I just screamed. I couldn't help it. Like that was amazing. I'm so excited for Sonic 4. And then that little post credit scene with Shadow, I thought was really neat. And I think it's setting up a show, a spin-off show. And yeah, um, this movie brought back a lot of childhood memories because if you ask me, like, what my favorite Sonic game is, it's always between Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. And when I was a kid, I used to play Sonic Adventure 2 all the time. Like that was my jam, man. So hearing that song and all the references to Sonic Adventure 2 just made me so happy. And yeah, like I said, Live and Learn, I heard the first note of that song and I started tweaking out, crying. It was amazing, man. I loved everything that this movie did. It might genuinely be my favorite movie ever made. Like I was so happy with how it was handled. Like they did it all so perfectly. Like I genuinely I wish I could see it for the first time again. It was so good, man. This is so scuffed. This is a horrible review. I'm trying. I just needed to yap a little bit. I love this movie. It was everything I've ever wanted and more. Like, and also Shadow with the motorcycle and the gun. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Like that's just perfect, man. But anyways, I think that's the rest of this video. I've noticed that a lot of the things that have come out recently dealing with Shadow's backstory have been really hitting me in the feels because Shadow Generations, the ending of that game made me tear up when the little tear fell on Rouge's face. Yeah, that got me. That got me pretty good. Um, and this movie also got me pretty good a lot of times. So, yeah. Um, if you haven't seen it, why did you watch this? I just spoiled the full movie. Anyways, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you did, watch it again because they need more money to make another movie. So, yeah. Alright. Well, that was it. That was my review. 10 out of 10. Would watch again. Love it.